Hello, Toho fan here.
This is GFan Comic Book Man, or just GFan97. So we recently just watched Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Rocked.
Yes, it did. The movie gets a lot of hate. I really don't know why. I think Rotten Tomatoes give it a 30...
Yeah, it's got like a 30... last I checked, it was either a 33 or a 30.
Yeah,
on there.
I thought it was 38, but yeah, well...
Dude, the score keeps just going...
Yeah,
it's sinking to the Aquaman level hate.
Yeah, which... Honestly, I didn't find much wrong with the movie to give it a 38. So this will be a non-spoiler review, at least for this one.
Yeah, here.
So...
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Better so we can see each other.
So what I would say is, what do you want to start off by saying?
Well, I'm going to start off with saying is, I am a hardcore Marvel fan. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
not to the point to where I know every fact, but I grew up on Marvel, so those are the guys I root for. And I was a huge naysayer. I was making fun of Ben Affleck as Batman. I was just like, oh, this movie's going to be horrible. So I've been like rooting for all the terrible reviews. So when I finally went in and watched the movie, I was just like, oh my god. I was like fucking wide grinning and everything. I was just like, yeah! So I love the movie. Ben Affleck as Batman by far is the best Batman we have gotten to date.
Yeah, and so for me, I'll start with my positives. I loved Batman. He was probably the best performance, as everyone else has said. Superman was a lot better. Henry Cavill, his acting was definitely a lot better this time.
He's also done more movies in between now.
Yeah.
Man of Steel.
One thing I'll say, as of like for right now, this is not a spoiler, but kind of, is that Batman does kill.
Yeah, and I personally like that because
Yeah.
I grew up on the Michael Keaton Batman, and he killed.
And so I think a lot of the hate probably does come from that Batman does indeed kill. Is that a problem? No. Is it new? No. Batman's killed. His first beginning is that he killed. He would grapple from building to building, and if someone was shooting at him and the head was outside the window, and he just kicked it and it snapped. Or he took a guy and...
Savage.
Oh yeah, or he took a guy, tried to noose around his neck, and just flew off with the Batwing. And then he just said, he's probably better off this way. So, Batman does kill. Batman has used guns before. It's not just Thomas Wayne. This Batman, a few scenes he does use guns and gun-like things. Does it really detract away from the movie itself? No. It makes a really good one. I will say that there are cameos, Dawn of Justice, of course. What am I looking for? Should they have done it the way they did? No, I think they should have done it. They could have done a lot better, but for what it was, and I guess kind of the way Zack Snyder had done in the past, it's actually pretty good. I think that they definitely could have done so much better, especially because these people haven't had their own movies, and this is just literally the second movie in the universe. Now, I do know that a lot of DC wanted to make another movie, but have a Batman standalone. I know that was kind of their fallback plan. Again, I really don't know why the movie has gotten so many negative reviews. The only site that's given it a positive review is IMDb, and as of right now,
Yeah, it's got a 7 out of something.
I think it was an 8.
Last I checked, it was 7.7 out of 10.
Yeah,
on IMDb.
And that's pretty good. I mean, it's 70%, but it's still really good. It was a good movie. I mean, the pacing was...
Yeah, pacing was my biggest problem in the movie. And it could have been done better, because instead of slowly building up to the big climactic battle we see in all the trailers, it kind of was like, you're gonna, it's getting really intense, and it's we're gonna skip to another scene. And then it will build back up, and then it'll go back down. It does that multiple times throughout the movie. So that is why I didn't give it a higher score when I reviewed it on my Facebook page and stuff. That was probably my least favorite part. And some of the cameos, like G-Fan said,
You can say my real name, I don't care.
like G-Fan said, they weren't the greatest cameos, but they were, I don't know.
They were done, it didn't detract away from the movie.
Yeah, it didn't take away from the movie, but the way, where they were put into the movie, it took away from that scene. So if they had done it earlier in the movie, because you'll definitely see there is setup earlier in the movie for it, and then it kind of cuts away and then doesn't come back to it, so it's those parts should have been spliced together.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely different subplots going on in the movie, which
It's not like Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man.
Where it has
it's got
all these
vibes
ones.
along those lines, but it's not like
Yeah.
terrible.
And at the end, it's one review I had what we watched. They said that one of the there was one of the parts that like it never got resolved, which it was Jeremy Jahns when we talked about Lois Lane's subplot, and he said like it never got resolved. It did. Literally, there wasn't much to it. To me, I feel like he was reading a little bit too much into it because she does not play a pivotal role in the movie. Neither does Superman.
Yeah, it's mainly a Batman Lex Luthor film. That is what this movie is. It's a Batman Lex Luthor film.
And another criticism I heard is that like there wasn't much Batman v Superman. It wasn't at the same time.
Yeah, there actually really was. I am. That's another thing I'm a little disappointed.
Although
about.
for me, going into it, I did not expect the whole film to be a Batman v Superman. I expected there to be a lot of build up to at least Batman, or maybe even Superman, mainly Batman. But the duration that we got was a solid maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, that fight could have been at least another 5 minutes longer.
Which even then, that 5 minutes...
That 5 minutes was intense.
Yeah. So for me...
It was definitely intense. That's why I wish it was longer, because it was done so well.
Yeah, but personally for me, that 5 minutes, I didn't care that the Batman, yes, it probably should have been just called Dawn of Justice, but the fact that that little 5 minutes...
Batman, Lex Luthor, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah. But, out of that 2.5 hours, that 5 minutes, literally, that was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, and also, it didn't detract to how small it was, because from what I heard, oh, it's a really small battle, and they said, he throws a few hits, I was thinking, oh, so it's gonna be, so when I saw it, I was like, okay, so it's going to be, a few hits, and then they're done.
Fight over.
And it wasn't. It was really good. Before I close off, I'll just say this version of Batman, compared to Christopher Nolan and all the other versions, Keaton, he did a good job. He played a dark version. His suit wasn't as good, but he did a good job. He played a more grim version of him. And then you have Christopher Nolan's character who was more realistic, where he wasn't really good in martial arts, but he was somewhat smart. He had more brains than he did
bronze.
Yeah, bronze. But then there's this version of Batman, which was
a good combo of both.
Yeah, he wasn't stupid. A few people try to say that he wasn't as as smart and tactical. He was tactical.
Very tactical. There were some scenes I'm damn, Batman.
And yeah,
smart.
And there's things that he prepared for that they didn't even show us. It's I was okay, so I guess he prepared for that. And he does a lot of preparing in the film, and they don't focus on it he does a 20-minute prepare scene. It's probably maybe it's cuts, you see him grabbing things and making things together. It's okay, that's cool. The part that I wanted it to be the Arkham games, where you're punching the crap out of someone, and then someone goes behind you, you grab them and just break their hand.
We did get a very good fight like that in this movie.
Yeah,
but the
trailer fight.
Yeah, it was in the trailer. But one thing I won't spoil. I'll save that for our spoiler video.
Yeah. Batman was really good. When he was fighting, even if he got hit, it didn't matter. He wouldn't because
he looked at you oh, you really just did that? You're gonna die.
Yeah, and it's not he killed every person he ever met. I think he probably killed a total of 10, 15 people in the movie. He killed quite a bit.
But not everyone he fought.
Now, if
they just walked out going, I wish I had died.
Yeah, and the people that didn't die, they
talk about what happens to the ones that don't die.
Yeah, they do mention that. No, he's brutal. Again, he's smart. When he fights, when people are around him, he's focusing on one guy, blocking one guy, breaking his arm, and then just completes the task. So this version of Batman is definitely the best we've ever seen by far. I would definitely see it. I give it, personally, an 8.5 out of 10. I think Tohofan gives it a...
I give it an 8. A solid 8. Just because I prefer even scores.
Well, I do too, but remember, I don't mind 5s.
Yeah.
You're
fucking weird.
I like even numbers, and I hate odd numbers, so... Yeah. If I ever get likes on this video, if you make it odd, so help me God.
So help me, Batman.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's wrap this up so we can do a spoiler vid.
So we'll upload the spoiler vid second, so have fun.
Peace.